Welcome, listeners, to another episode of the Chris Talk Show, where we bring you the news and dive into a wide range of topics that matter to you. I also give my views and my opinion. The show starts right now. Let's get into it. Can you feel it? Can you feel it? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome to another episode of the show. Welcome to Chris Talks. I am your host with the most, Chris Talks. I hope that you're having a blessed day because I am definitely having a good one. All right, so let's get into these stories. Our top story for today is two women arrested after allegedly cooking oil theft. So apparently these two ladies stole some oil, some cooking oil. I mean, like, yeah, cooking oil. What you gonna do? Who steals cooking oil? Why would you steal cooking oil? I don't know. But let's get into it. Let's Sarah AI take over and let's get into it and find out why these ladies stole some cooking oil. All right, hit it. Let's get into it.
Two women have been arrested after police say they stole cooking oil from a Monroe County diner on SR 611. According to the Pocono Township Police Department, on October 7 around 7:30 a.m., officers were called to the Scottron Diner on State Route 611 for a theft of used cooking oil. Police said they learned the suspected car used during the theft was a white van with a ladder rack on the top with a New Jersey registration and two women in the car. Officers were able to locate the car traveling southbound on SR 611 in front of Turkey Hill and initiated a traffic stop. The driver, 23-year-old Juliana Perez Sanchez from Jersey City, and the passenger, 40-year-old Arainly Sanchez Conde from Jersey City, were arrested. Both were then transported to Monroe County Correctional Facility. They have been charged with theft and possessing instruments of crime.
All right, folks, this particular episode brings us to New Jersey. So we're finally out of New York for a little while, and we are in New Jersey. But before I dig into this, story, y'all know we gotta pay them bills. So check it out. If you like this content and want to hear more of it, the links are right there on your screen. This particular episode will probably be posted up on YouTube, and you can check that out at Chris Talks 1190. Also, check out our Facebook page where we post up inspirational, motivational, and spiritual content to help you through your day. So check that out. Check us out on Facebook. All right, folks. Let's get into it. All right, so what do we have here? Yeah, a little late with that. What do we have here? Two women, and I can't even pronounce the county that this happened in, but this took place in Jersey. Apparently, these two women went on a joyride and decided that they was going to steal some damn oil. They said, hey, you know what? Remember all that chicken that we got to fry? And you ain't got enough food stamps? We going to go get some oil. That's what they did. I'm sorry about that, but that's what they did. That's what it seems like they did. The car wasn't stolen or nothing. These women just decided to go joyriding and break into a restaurant, a diner, and steal the cooking oil. Can we get them the dummy buzzer? Like, we have to give these people the dummy buzzer. Do we have it? Yes, hit it one more time. Who does that? Who does that? Like, let's be honest. So my opinion on this, these were obviously some really dumb women. And what are they? Mexicans? Are they Mexican? They non-melanin Mexicans. Why are you stealing all this oil? It don't make no sense. I don't understand. What barbecue are you throwing? What fish fry do you have coming up? And I don't think Mexicans really eat a lot of fish. I don't know. But what do you have going on that you are stealing oil? And Lord knows if that oil was already used. Because some people they like to keep the seasoning and stuff. The oil has the seasoning, it absorbs the seasoning, so they want to get all that. They want to get all that flavor. They want to get all that good stuff in there. But this is a senseless crime. This is another one of those senseless crimes. And that's probably why I didn't get that much blast, because it's really senseless. Who in the hell steals oil? Like, for real. And Lord knows if the oil was hot. Was the oil hot? Did they take the whole pot? Did they dump it into a bin before they stole it? Because, they could have had the car sitting outside with a bin right in there to dump the oil. We don't know. We don't know. These women can have a history. They can be. And I know somebody's out there laughing right now, but it's true. They can be oil thieves. These can be, you'd be surprised the crimes that people will commit. But on a serious note, these two women, they're dumb. Because this was this was foolish and a senseless crime. You're stealing oil for what? Even for whatever reason that they had, and I'm pretty sure that to them this was a legit reason to steal cooking oil, whether it was hot or cold. But you're stealing oil, man. You're stealing. Can you imagine them sitting in jail? What are you in here for? Stealing oil. How much you steal? About 13 gallons. 14 gallons. I mean, let's be honest. What kind of senseless crap is this? And luckily to this county, I can't pronounce the name of this county, but luckily police was able to apprehend these women, and get back the oil. Okay, let's applaud them for getting back the oil. They got back the oil, and they ain't had to call it no bomb strikes or no nothing. But they got back that oil. They got back the oil. President didn't have to send the military for the oil. They got it back. And what kind of restaurant was this again? What kind of restaurant was this? Because I would only think that you would want to steal oil, really, probably from a Chinese restaurant. They would be having the most oil, right? Chinese restaurant. They fry half of their food. So, was this a Chinese restaurant? It doesn't really say. But I'm assuming this was a Chinese restaurant. Or it could have been one of them southern restaurants. You don't know. All right. That's my view, and that's my opinion on that one. Stupid, senseless crime, stealing oil. And how far, and I just want to keep it real. I understand it was two people, but how far you think you going to get carrying oil? And two women. Like, how long do you think that's going to take? I mean, they could have took a bunch of stuff. Like, they could have took chicken. Like, They could have took the barbecue sauce, any type of sauce that was there. They could have took anything else, but these women decided, the hell with that. We're not even going to hit the cash register. We're going to take their oil. That's what we're going to do. And got caught for it. Very senseless. Very, very senseless. Very senseless. Very, very stupid, foolish, and senseless crime. Senseless. Very senseless. All right. It's very sad. Very, very sad. Very sad. All right, listeners, let's get into the second story. Okay, so this second story is going to bring us to New York City, where the death of a 17-year-old girl is being investigated as a homicide. All right, let's get into that. Sarah, let's let Sarah AI take over. Let's hit it. Let's get into it, y'all.
The death of a 17-year-old girl who suffered a fatal gunshot wound to the head in Stapleton now is being investigated as a homicide. According to police, the girl has been identified as Destiny Vega of Stapleton. A relative of the victim said the teen went by the nickname Nana. Police responded on Friday just before 9:20 p.m. to a 911 call of a person shot in an apartment at 270 Gordon Street. According to a statement from the NYPD's Deputy Commissioner of Public Information, EMS responded to the location and pronounced the unconscious and unresponsive girl dead at the scene. According to the police statement, there are no arrests at this time and the investigation continues. An NYPD spokesman said on Tuesday. A source with knowledge of the investigation said that other people were in the multi-unit residence with the victim when the shooting occurred. She was fatally injured in a different unit from the one she lives in at the address on Gordon Street. The incident initially was probed as a possible suicide, but authorities were puzzled when they didn't find the gun at the scene. Typically, when a shooting is self-inflicted, the gun is located near the victim's body and there is gunpowder residue on clothing and various parts of the victim's body such as a hand and a forearm where the gun was held. The girl's death was the second tragedy involving a child in the span of just 7 hours on Staten Island on Friday. In the latest in a disturbing series of homicides involving children this year.
All right, let's get into this story. All right, before we get deep into it and dive deep into it, first of all, let's send our condolences. Just turn that down for 1 second. Let's send our condolences to this family and to the friends of this young lady who lost her life. All right, let's get back into it. All right, check it out. So let me drop a bomb on you real quick. And I want my listeners, those who are parents, to really, really focus on this and think about this. This is a 17-year-old girl sitting in her room, probably minding her own business. And suddenly a shot enters her room. Now, I do want to point out some facts here. There was some facts that I did want to point out. One was that they said that there were other members in the house when this took place. But another fact that they did point out was that this bullet could have came from one of the adjacent apartments. I mean, think about that. Can you imagine your neighbor getting into an argument or something like that and playing around with a gun and then letting it off and it hitting your child? And I mean, not even your child. I had to take a second to pause because I'm thinking, it's not even your child. What happened if that was you? Just think about that for 1 second. What happened if that was you? What happened if this was a 2-year-old girl, a 5-year-old girl, a 2-year-old boy, a 5-year-old boy? This right now, to me, is another another senseless crime. And I really hope that they find the person that did this. Because this is real senseless. This girl was sitting in her home, minding her business, probably doing whatever. I mean, just think about it, 17-year-old girl doing whatever your average 17-year-old girl do. And a bullet or multiple bullets come through the wall. And in so a way, and it's very sad, but in so a way that the shot is fatal. It didn't even injure this girl. The shot was fatal. This young girl lost her life during the impact of that bullet. She lost her life. Now let's think about that for a second, people. Think about that. And not just her. And I want to thank, let's just give an applause real quick to, Staten Island Advance for this story. Give an applause to them real quick. But this is one of about 3 or 4 teens that died, which is another fact that they pointed out, that died within the 7-hour period, just in one borough. Ladies and gentlemen, I said it once, and I'll say it again. We have got to do better. Got to. No reason why 7 young teens should be using, what is it? About 3 or 4 young teens losing their life within a 7-hour period. That's not even a school day. Or that's about a school day. Can you imagine that? You drop your child off to school. And by the time they get out of school, about 4 or 5 kids within their age range has passed on. Crazy to think about, right? And this one is really, really crazy to think about, because what it really makes you think, and it really makes me wonder, is how safe are you in your home? I mean, let's be honest. I don't know. It doesn't say if she was in, I don't know Staten Island like that. So I don't know if this was a project or a private residence. But 9 times out of 10, if it was a private residence, sheetrock ain't going to stop no bullet. No matter how thick it is. And 9 times out of 10, it probably wasn't that thick. But it's not going to stop no bullet. And it is unfortunate that the bullet that went through that wall happened to hit her in the head and fatally kill her. It's very sad. Now, how do you look at this from a political level? You really can't. Because politics has nothing really to do with this. This is something that was senseless. Somebody from one of the adjacent apartments either got into some type of quarrel with someone, or just playing with a gun. Because these are the only 2 scenarios that I can come up with. Somebody quarreled with somebody, or somebody was just playing around with a gun and it went off. And this was the result of it. What do you say? I would say, if you're a gun owner, be more careful. I would say, if you're a gun owner, don't bring your gun out for every little tantrum or emotional fit that you go through. What I would say is, if you as a gun owner, you should have that strapped up. What I would say, if you as a gun owner, don't be so emotional. Now they don't scan for all these emotions and crap when they giving the guns out. They don't go through all that. I mean, we all know that. They don't go through all that. But to the people that own them, whether it's legal or illegal, just the fact that you own one, that you have one. This is the type of things that can happen. And I don't know for sure if this was a misuse of a gun. Now, I've looked on different uh, social networks and I've checked with my sources. It's all basically saying the same thing that was just reported, that I just reported to you. And it's sad that that happened. And these people have to bury this 17-year-old. So whoever did it, hopefully they're going to get caught. I mean, sooner or later they're going to get caught, but hopefully sooner than later. And if it was an accident, I mean, I don't know. If you out there, if you have any information on it, or if you out there and you're listening to the show and you did it, my advice to you is just turn yourself in, because sooner or later they're gonna find you. They will, trust me. But I want to give a boo to. Can we boo them? No, boo them. The NYPD, just for thinking, just for assuming. And I tell a lot of people this: 9 times out of 10, when you assume something, there's a very good chance that you are wrong. But just for them assuming that this was a suicide, and it kind of makes you think, why would they just jump off to assume that this female committed suicide, that this young woman, I said women, young woman committed suicide? There's no history of depression here, none at all. So why would that be their first assumption? But only to later find evidence that that's not true. There's no gun residue on this female at all. Her hands are anywhere else other than where she was hit. None. So how would this be considered a suicide? Like, what would the people? What are we doing here? It's like this: you hire these people to do a job, and they can't even do their job right. I mean, come on. This is definitely point blank a homicide. And it's my theory that somebody quarreled. Somebody, for y'all who don't know what quarreled means, somebody was arguing in one of the adjacent apartments and let off a shot. Even the people who I guess reside on that floor said that they heard a shot. Now, if they heard it coming from within that apartment, from another apartment, those details are not there. But they did hear it, and let's applaud the people on that floor, the witnesses or whatever that came forward, because a lot of people would not come forward when they hear stuff like that. They do not come forward. They will fall back in the clouds. They won't say nothing because they don't want to risk any retaliation. But applaud those people that came forward and said what they heard. But there was no arguing or nothing within that apartment before this incident happened. So, yes. Again, I give my condolences to this girl's family, and us here at Chris Talks. We don't promote any type of violence. We're hoping that the person that did commit this crime, they get caught. Yeah, you get caught. I mean, you 17-year-old minding her business. Probably watching them one of them little what them shows like what Bad Girls or something. One of them, I don't know. Probably doing her hair. Who knows? Lord knows what she was doing when this took place. But this this young woman lost her life very, very early. All right. So that's my view and that's my opinion on this story. All right. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Hit the subscribe, like, notifications, and leave your comments for this story. All right. So I want to thank all my listeners for tuning in. You could be anywhere else in the world, but you are here with me, and I so appreciate that. Also, stay blessed and not stressed. Until next episode, peace out, y'all. I'll see y'all later. Love you.